Yes, folks, hello, welcome once again to One Extra Games and Collectibles. One Extra Games and Collectibles, the place where you get some of the G.I. Joe Classified Series news, some of the time, when I get around to it. And in my defense, I'm getting around to it in a pretty timely manner today because we are just mere days away from the start of San Diego Comic-Con, and in this video installment, I want to talk about G.I. Joe Classified Series at San Diego Comic-Con. We've got some digital renders that we're hoping to see in-hand reveals and pre-orders open up for. We've got some name-only reveals that we're hoping for at least digital renders, if not yet more in-hand reveals. And there's a few bits of rumour and speculation floating around that I kind of want to touch on. So in terms of the video, we'll talk about what we know for sure. We'll then get into the rumours and speculation, and then I might finish up with a few crazy flights of fancy and wishlisty type stuff. So let's do it, let's get into it, and let's talk about San Diego Comic-Con. Now then, I may be in fact, so timely that I'm premature with this video because San Diego Comic-Con starts on Thursday, and already the Hasbro marketing machine has been putting out digital renders and teasers for what they call the road to San Diego Comic-Con. So I'm recording this on Tuesday, the 21st of July. There may yet be another reveal or another teaser tomorrow on the Wednesday before the event actually kicks off on Thursday. So if that's the case, I apologise. I've jumped the gun, but, you know, I've got to schedule my video making around my life, you know what I mean? But that has obviously given us an indicator of some things that we know for sure are going to be talked about and discussed and looked at San Diego Comic-Cons. Let's start with those, shall we? And first up, we have the new Triple T set. B-Mac had teased this during Yojo June, so we knew it was on the way. He'd already kind of tipped the wink around the new canopy on it, etc., etc. But here we can see the full set in digital render form. And this will be, you know, either for you or it isn't. It's not for me particularly, but I can see a lot of things there for people to like and enjoy for sure. I've heard round and about some of my dudes on the G.I. Joe Frontline Discord were talking about this. I think that the tracks work. They're movable. They do what they're supposed to do. But there's nice sculpted detail in here, nice decals on the side of it. I believe as well from BMAT's comments during Yojo June that the canopy is removable. So if you want the classic look without the front canopy, you can do. It does look a bit kind of short and stunty in the render, but I'm kind of inclined to think that it might be looking a bit more full-bodied, a bit bulkier in the actual, plastic form. So if you're a Triple T fan, I'm imagining, I suspect, that this digital render reveal hitting the socials already means that when it comes to the event itself, we're going to be seeing this Sergeant Slaughter and this Triple T being revealed for realsies. Just on a side note, though, Sergeant Slaughter, man, Jesus, he's becoming like the new Snake Eyes, isn't he? We've got the fourth Sergeant Slaughter now that we've got? And that is ostensibly the desert camo one, isn't it? From the recent Red Dog and Sergeant Slaughter 2-pack, but in a green camo, like a jungle camo. And they've chucked in Rock and Roll's helmet, just for shits and giggles. So I suspect a lot of people who are interested in the Triple T are going to end up with a figure they're less interested in, because if you're going to load up your Triple T with a Sergeant Slaughter, then you can go for the classic mainline look, can't you, with the black vest? Anyway, this isn't a commentary video, this is a news vid about San Diego Comic-Con. So there you go, here's the first thing we know, or I've got a strong indication of, there's going to be some talk about at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm of the firm belief that, like they did last year, the renders are getting teased out now because they're going to have it in hand at the event. And then next up, we've got the Crimson Snake armor. Again, this has been name-only teased. It's been put in the pipeline, but here's the digital render that dropped just today, in fact, earlier today, folks. And, it's the Snake armor in a crimson deco. We've already seen the Snake armor. Folks have had the kind of mainline, like, core look in the white come out. This is obviously going to appeal to folks like me who are looking at that and don't see it as the Crimson Snake armor, but see it as the Red Shadow Escape armor from back in the day, and would certainly be a good fit for your collection if you want to kind of integrate it and use it across your 6-inch lines like your Skeletron and or the Crimson Moon stuff. But I'm pretty sure, someone correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong, but the accessory selection is the same, the book, the body, the mold is the same. It is just a repaint. And it does look good. It does look good. It has turned my head, but I don't buy vehicles, except for the despoiler, which was an outlier, as I pointed out to many of you in the comments down below. We don't do vehicles here at One Extra Games and Collectibles. But there it is. That's next on the list. Another render that went out today. So I'm again, pretty firmly certain that this is going to be an in-hand reveal and a pre-order will open up over the event. Next up, the Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider G.I. Joe crossover. So BMAC verbally said during the Yojo June stream where they revealed this digital render that they'll be showing us Lara Croft at San Diego Comic-Con. So again, taking him at his word or interpreting his words there to mean that there will be an in-hand reveal of the Lara Croft figure taking place at San Diego Comic-Con. And of course, San Diego Comic-Con with that kind of broader sort of, nerd event appeal with the general footfall of that massive kind of convention center setup is obviously an excellent time and place to put, a for realsies 6-inch plastic Lara Croft in your glass cabinet. So even if someone's not a day-to-day Hasbro collector like you and I, interested in the lines like G.I. Joe Classified, it would give a moment's pause to stop and take a look and see, and it could draw in some crowds. So, pretty confident. Like I say, BMAC said at Yojo June, more to come at San Diego Comic-Con on the Lara Croft front, and so I'm expecting, a glass cabinet in hand reveal. Then we've got, this is kind of like a weird one because the Night Force Psych out images went across the internet today. This is actually a Walmart Collecticon figure. So this is on the 23rd Walmart Collecticon. So it's not actually a San Diego Comic-Con thing. It's a different con. It's the Walmart Collecticon, which is not a con. It's just a marketing thing. But the images went live on their on their Collecticon preview site. I just grabbed a couple here that caught my eye. But I suspect, again, strongly suspect that with the figure being made available this week for order through the Walmart Collecticon, that an in-hand reveal show and tell will take place of the Night Force Psych out. Just as a momentary tangent, I said before it's not a commentary video, this is just about covering the news, but I'm divided. I'm in two minds about this one. I actually really like the look of this Night Force Psych out, but I also kind of want that, the core green color scheme for my collection. I'm struggling. I've done this with a couple of figures in the past where I've decided to go for a subline version rather than the mainline. Best example I can think of is the Tiger Force Outback. I bought that, didn't even bother with standard Outback. I love that one so much. This one, I don't know. It does look good in that black and grey, doesn't he? And the pink effects, they're just so pink. I love it. They're out there. Anyway, I'll talk about it in more detail after the formal reveal. Hopefully they'll do an in-hand reveal and open it up for pre-order at San Diego Comic-Con. I suspect that they are going to do. I've got some strong sense. But even if isn't the case, it's going to be made available through the Walmart Collecticon on the 23rd anyway. And then finally in this section, of course, we've got the convention exclusives. We've got the Shipwreck and the Cadet Deming 2-pack, and we've got the Fatal Fluffy as the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. They're for sale, as I understand it, at San Diego Comic-Con. They're also opening up for sale here in the UK on Hasbro Pulse. They're already listed with a coming soon sticker on them. And in years gone by, that's happened. I made my Cold Slither order on the day the convention started, and it was with me by the weekend. I'm hoping the same happens again with this. Although I don't know if I'm going for Shipwreck and Cadet Deming. I really want that Cadet Deming figure, but Jesus, guys, the price over here is ridiculous. The Fatal Fluffy's at 55 quid, which I feel like is a bit of a sting. The hooded Cobra Commander with the throne is only like £8 more than the Fatal Fluffy. But the Cadet Deming and Shipwreck over there is like 75 quid. It's just too much for two figures like that, especially when I don't want the Shipwreck, I only want the Cadet Deming. But anyway, I was going to say I wasn't going to get in the weed on tangents. But of course, we absolutely know that these are going to be a feature of the San Diego Comic-Con experience for G.I. Joe Classified fans. So there you go. This one is buttoned on. Okay, so there's the stuff we know for suresy, or we can be pretty confident based on comments made at Yojo June or in the road to San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Now onto the strong possibilities or the high possibilities, but are speculative. We've got no formal confirmation of them. And we're going to start with the Retro Wave. So at Yojo June, we had Retro Falcon, the Retro Valkyrie, and the Retro Flash revealed. And I'm feeling that, if you were putting the odds on, if I was a bookie, I think there's a pretty high chance that these are going to open up for pre-order, and we'll have in-hand reveals of these at San Diego Comic-Con. So the glass cabinet, the panel, probably the live stream panel as well. I'll talk about all that in a minute. We're going to see these three guys getting made available for pre-order. I'm fairly certain. Then we've got these bad boys. These have been floating around. The renders have been with us for ages now. The Arctic 3-pack with the Arctic Night Viper, which they've given a funny name, which I keep forgetting, the Arctic Steel Core figure, and the Arctic Saw Viper figure. So yeah, these have been floating around for a long, long time. BMAC, again, during one of the Yojo June streams, said that they'd put them out as early as they did because they wanted to indicate that there was going to be more in the Arctic theme to engage with and interact with your Snowcat HasLab. But as time goes on, surely these are due for an in-hand reveal and maybe even being opened up for a pre-order, because they have been around for a donkey's age now. I mean, I feel like I've spoken about these a bazillion times. So this one's not so for sure. In terms of the bookies odds, I'm not quite as confident as I am around the retro wave, but come on. Is it not about time to get these revealed? Especially since BMAC on his socials had recently said that there's going to be a Snowcat unboxing coming down the pipeline very, very soon. So keep your eye out, folks. I think maybe these might turn up. I mean, it's not like they're new molds or anything, is it? These are probably in a warehouse somewhere already, just locked and loaded to go. Yeah, that's all I got on that one. But yeah, the Arctic 3-pack. Which then takes us to the name-only list, the pipeline name-only list as it stands at the moment. And there's only a 2-pack, basically. The Mad Marauder Footloose and the Mad Marauder Mutton Junkyard. Or a 3-pack, I suppose, technically, if you count Junkyard. So, which I do. You've got to count the good boy. But yeah, that's all that's sitting on the name-only pipeline list right now. So there's a chance that these two will be revealed, if at least as a digital render, if not again as an in-hand reveal. But this list obviously needs padding out a little bit too. So I'm suspecting a great deal at San Diego Comic-Con that we might get some name-only pipeline stuff that start giving us a little peek into the 2027 releases. So that's everything with with the good bookies odds, as it were. The things that we know for sure, the things that we can have a firmly predict, and then the things that have got a good chance, but might not necessarily happen. But there are some rumours and some speculative stuff going on out there. And so for this section of the video now, just basing it on things I've heard, whispers on the wind, or speculation based on my own experience of following this stuff frequently. So take everything from this point forward with a pinch of salt, because it's rumours and speculation time. And I'm going to start by pointing this out. So last year, one of the San Diego Comic-Con reveals was the Pythona figure. And the Pythona figure was revealed to kind of set up as a fall convention exclusive that they then made available at the New York Comic Con, at the MCM London Expo, and at the Lucca Comics and Games convention in Italy. I think there was another one as well, a fourth one, but its name escapes me right now, and obviously didn't make it to the slide. So I am wondering if that's going to be the case this time around as well, whether they're going to be springboarding us another convention exclusive that will be lined up for that kind of autumnal run that takes place in the, like the September, October, November period of the year. I'm not really basing this on a great deal of stuff. The retail listings, so some of you folks will know that Chris, Diagnostic 80 over at Full Force Podcast, he uses the retail codes to sort of track upcoming releases and whatnot. The retail listings are pretty much there or thereabouts revealed. I think there's I've not watched a Full Force Podcast for a little while, but I'm pretty sure at this point now there's a Target exclusive and a Walmart exclusive. I'll talk about the Target exclusive in a minute, but just to two exclusives, and that's it. There's no other kind of retail codes that don't match up to anything that hasn't been revealed up to this point. So I'm not really basing that on anything other than their historical behavior last year around this stuff. And also, it's a bit of a wish listy kind of piece, because as someone in the UK who's thinking about going to the MCM London Comic Con, I'd kind of like an exclusive for the other conventions towards the back end of the year. Now, I've also heard that the Lara Croft is a reveal at San Diego Comic-Con to be made for sale at New York Comic-Con, which could possibly imply that she's going to be the convention exclusive, but I would find that very hard to believe. The kind of cross-IP appeal, the general shelf appeal of that figure, particularly for collectors outside of the kind of G.I. Joe classified hardcore in the middle, would make me think that that's not the case. So this is a fingers crossed speculative moment. Are they going to do the same again this year, where they use San Diego Comic-Con to tee up the other convention exclusive that they're going to use as their, as they described it last year, their fall convention exclusive? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Would that be where Globulus sneaks his way into the line? I'd have thought we'd have had him this year, but with the way the kind of Cobra setup is at the minute, with the with the characters rolling out. Okay, that Target exclusive then. So the Target exclusive is known to be a Ninja Force 2-pack, and is heavily rumored to the point where I'm not even sure it is a rumor, because I'm hearing these rumors from sources and places that where folks are kind of plugged in and got contacts within Hasbro, that it's going to be a Ninja Force, Snake Eyes, and Jinx 2-pack, which is, I don't know. I'm a bit like meh about that, to be to be honest. But I know there'll be folks out there who will be excited by that. I'd have personally preferred something like a Dojo and I don't know, like a Pale Peony when she switched sides in the comics, or to Jinzu or something. But nonetheless, there are other Ninja Force 2-packs slated for 2027, so my wish may yet come true. But this is what is being heavily rumored. So a 6-inch classified version of Snake Eyes in his Ninja Force style deco with the blue trimmings, I think will definitely be the case. And Jinx is a little bit more open to interpretation. There wasn't, to my knowledge at least, I don't think there was a vintage Jinx, Ninja Force Jinx release, although she obviously did work with the team a great deal in the comic books. There is that 25th anniversary aesthetic. There's also the look in the Energon comics with the thigh boots and the clawed toes and stuff. So there are other looks, or they might just go for a very a sleeved ninja masked more kind of classic look Jinx, built on the built on top of the book from the mainline release last year, was it, or the year before? I mean, I'd be much more interested in the set if we had something more significantly different. If the Jinx is a kind of just a retread with some what I would consider minor changes, like adding sleeves to the figure we've already got, then a Ninja Force version of Snake Eyes is not enough, just not enough. I've already got too many Snake Eyes as it is, and I don't like having repeat characters. But yeah, we know that there's a Ninja Force 2-pack on the way as a Target exclusive. It's heavily rumoured to be the Ninja Force, Snake Eyes, and Jinx, and there's a chance that we find out more about this at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, it's not uncommon for them to like to, slip a surprise in there somewhere. In the glass cabinet, there's a figure, everyone's like, oh, wait, what's that? Or, during the panel, they go, oh, here's something we hadn't teed up with you at all. Bam, here's a surprise. And I hope so as well, because everything up to this point has so heavily been kind of talked about and out there and digital rendered and so on and so forth, that they're taking a little bit of the magic out of the experience of attending the live stream, or the spread of the photographs as the glass cabinet stuff starts to leak out through attendees, or the live stream panel and all that good stuff. So I hope there is some surprises, a little cheeky something that they go, haha. But there are a couple of things out there in the rumour mill that could, well, one of them is not a rumour mill, it's speculative, that could give us a sense as to what that surprise might be. And I'll start with the Tomb Raider thing over the far side. So actually, that's not there because of Tomb Raider G.I. Joe. That's there because of the crossover brand, this X brand. So it was brought to my attention recently in the comments of one of my videos that Steve Evans, who works over at Hasbro, had mentioned off the back of the Lara Croft reveal that his favourite G.I. Joe X reveal was yet to come. So that could be another G.I. Joe classified crossover reveal. He was also talking a great deal in the comments about the strong British pedigree with things like Action Man and Lara Croft. So, take from that what you will, interpret that how you will. Somebody in my comments on the video about crossovers mentioned James Bond, and that would be freaking awesome. So maybe there's going to be another crossover reveal. There's just, boom, there you go, out the blue. Then I popped the Thunder Machine on here, not because I've heard on the rumour mill that there's a Thunder Machine, but I've heard on the rumour mill that there's not another HasLab. We know this already, that's fact, but there might be a made-to-order, a G.I. Joe classified made-to-order. And if there is a made-to-order, it's a fairly safe bet then it's going to be a vehicle. Clearly, in the community, there's a strong community desire for a Thunder Machine in the collection, although some sort of boat or aquatic vehicle is also would also be a popular choice as well. So could they, let us know, start the marketing machine around a made-to-order G.I. Joe classified set? Who knows? This is rumour and speculation section of the video, folks. But Steve Evans mentioning the best G.I. Joe crossover that his favourite G.I. Joe crossover is yet to come could mean there's another classified figure. Although it could mean there's another random one. It doesn't necessarily mean it's classified, does it? The crossover brand. It could be anything at all. But another couple of coals to throw on the rumour and speculation fire there. So when will we start finding out about all this stuff? Well, as the event starts on Thursday, obviously Hasbro have a massive stand, an exhibition stand that they'll be having there. These have the glass cabinets with figures on display in them. It's also common practice for them to sort of slip figures in and change those displays out day to day. So we could very quickly start seeing stuff leak out from attendees who are taking pictures of what's in those glass cabinets. Hasbro also holds an influencer breakfast thing. I don't know a great deal about this. I'm not big enough to even be considered for such an event, but they hold it like this influencer breakfast thing, so there might be reveals again that kind of start leaking out from content creators who are in attendance who've been invited to that breakfast. Then the panel itself that I've been referencing through the video, that's taking place on the 23rd at 10 till 11, which would be San Diego West Coast time. I don't know how you do your funny time over there in North America, but 10 till 11, and that's advertised as having product news, new reveals, etc., etc. Now, whether that gets live streamed itself, or whether what they also sometimes do is they sort of do behind the scenes Comic-Con streams where they'll do the panel live in person, and then a couple of hours later that day there'll be a kind of sofa moment where they'll do a live stream out on the Hasbro Pulse channel where they'll be sat on that sofa in the exhibition stand or behind the scenes kind of thing, and they'll share with us, the international viewers and people unable to attend, what was discussed or shared at the panel. Although it's also quite common that content creators will do a live stream or record the panel while there as well. So we should have a pretty good, strong sense of whether I've called it or not by the time that happens on the morning of the 23rd. So there we go then, folks. There is the G.I. Joe at San Diego Comic-Con rundown for you. As always, it'll be my intention to keep a very close eye on the new reveals and stuff, and I'll do some of my classic commentary reviews of the new releases throughout the week, or certainly once San Diego Comic-Con has finished early part of next week. Have I missed something? Probably have. There's probably a rumour out there that I'm not aware of. My lists of things, trying to keep a track of name-only reveals and digital renders are a mess as well, so I might have even missed something off there for all I know. But let me know in the comments down below. What are you most excited for? Are you struggling to get it up this year for San Diego Comic-Con? I must admit, I'm not hugely like, I can't wait for it this year. I do hope there is some cheeky little surprises or something out of the left field to just generate a bit more energy and buzz, because as we start to sort of wind down the 2026 release, I'm kind of like, I need to know about 27 now, and I need more new, exciting, juicy stuff, So we'll see on that front, shall we? But there we go. Like I say, share your thoughts in the comments down below. But all that remains for me to say is thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, hit all the buttons that help a YouTube brother out. In the meantime, have yourselves a great day. Have yourselves a great week. Enjoy the convention if you are going to be there. Or in fact, if you are going to be there, drop me a DM. I really want that San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from Super 7 that's the Turtles t-shirt, but he's doing the Akira bike slide. If anyone's there, drop me a line if you can grab me that exclusive. I'll pay for the for the item and the shipping and all that. Anyway, come back around again for another video sometime soon. Take it easy, folks.